The New York skyline shone against the night sky as Elijah Carter stepped out of his black luxury car in front of one of the most prestigious five-star hotels in Manhattan. The doorman, dressed in a crisp uniform, opened the door for him, but his smile was forced. One of those polite yet hesitant expressions that hinted at silent judgment. Elijah was used to it. A black man in an expensive suit, driving a high-end car, checking into a hotel known for hosting millionaires and celebrities. To many, that didn't seem to add up. But Elijah wasn't just a guest. He was one of the biggest investors in the hotel chain. He had built his fortune from the ground up, turning a small tech startup into a billion-dollar empire. Tonight, he wasn't here on business. He had come to attend an exclusive corporate event being hosted in the hotel's grand ballroom. After checking in, he planned to relax at the bar for a drink before heading to his suite. Little did he know that the evening would take an unexpected turn, one that would expose a deep-rooted prejudice within the very establishment he helped fund. The first confrontation, Elijah walked into the hotel's sleek modern lobby, where chandeliers glowed overhead and wealthy guests mingled in designer attire. As he approached the check-in counter, the receptionist, Lauren, glanced up and immediately stiffened. "Good evening, sir. Can I help you?" she asked, her tone filled with uncertainty. Elijah placed his golden VIP membership card on the counter. "Yes, I have a reservation under Elijah Carter." Lauren hesitated, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. "Are you sure? Maybe the reservation is under a different name?" Elijah raised an eyebrow. "I think I know my own name." She gave him a tight-lipped smile. "Of course, let me just check." Instead of typing his name, she discreetly glanced at the security guard standing nearby, a tall, stocky man named Officer Bradley. Their brief eye contact spoke volumes. Something was off in their minds. A moment later, Lauren's eyes widened slightly as Elijah's reservation appeared on her screen. She cleared her throat, forcing a smile. "Ah, yes, here you are. Mr. Carter, you have the presidential suite booked for 2 nights." Her tone had changed. Now that she saw his status, she treated him with respect. Elijah knew this game. He had played it too many times. He took his room key and walked toward the elevator, but the night was far from over. Or the accusation. After freshening up, Elijah headed to the hotel's exclusive bar, a sleek space reserved for VIP guests and high-profile individuals. The bartender, a man in his late 40s, was cleaning glasses when Elijah approached. "Whiskey. On the rocks, please." The bartender barely nodded. But as he prepared the drink, Elijah noticed something odd. The bartender kept glancing toward the security guard, the same one from earlier. Elijah took his drink and sat at a quiet corner table, enjoying the ambiance. But just as he was about to take a sip, a voice interrupted him. "Excuse me, sir." He looked up to see Officer Bradley, now standing beside him, hands clasped in front of him like he was dealing with a suspect. "We've received a complaint about suspicious activity. May I see some identification?" Elijah placed his glass down slowly. "Suspicious activity? In what way?" The officer hesitated. "A guest reported concerns about someone loitering near the bar." Elijah chuckled, shaking his head. "Loitering? I'm sitting at a table drinking a whiskey I just paid for." "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to verify your identity." By now, other guests had started turning their heads, watching the scene unfold. Elijah sighed, reached into his pocket, and pulled out his room key and ID. Bradley took the key, looked at it, then back at Elijah. And then he made a mistake. "This could belong to anyone. You need to come with me for further verification." Silence. The bartender and receptionist exchanged glances. They hadn't expected the situation to escalate this far. Elijah slowly stood up. "So, let me get this straight. I checked in with my reservation, I paid for my drink, I showed you my room key and ID. And you still think I don't belong here? Bradley shifted uncomfortably. It's just a precaution. Elijah smirked. A precaution you wouldn't have taken if I looked like everyone else here, right? A murmur spread through the crowd. People were watching, waiting to see what would happen next. The reversal, Elijah pulled out his phone and dialed a number. The call was brief. Hey, Mike, I need you to come downstairs. Now. A few minutes later, a sharply dressed man entered the bar, Michael Langford, the hotel's general manager. His eyes widened when he saw Elijah and the security officer. Mr. Carter, I wasn't expecting to see you until tomorrow. Is there a problem? Elijah gestured at Bradley. Apparently there is. Seems your security team thinks I don't belong here. Langford's face turned pale as he turned to Bradley. You detained one of our biggest investors? Bradley's eyes widened in horror. Wait! What? Elijah leaned in, his voice low and sharp. You assumed I was a scammer, a trespasser, a fraudster, because a black man drinking whiskey in a luxury bar didn't fit your idea of who belongs here. Bradley opened his mouth, but no words came out. Langford straightened his jacket. Officer Bradley, you're dismissed, effective immediately. The security officer looked stunned. Sir, I was just being racist. Yes, we know. Get out. As Bradley walked away in humiliated silence, Langford turned to Elijah. I deeply apologize, Mr. Carter. This is unacceptable. Please allow me to personally make this right. Elijah took a sip of his whiskey. You'll do more than apologize. You're going to overhaul your staff training and ensure this never happens again. And you're going to start with a public acknowledgement of what happened tonight. Langford nodded quickly. Absolutely. We will fix this. I give you my word. The impact. By the next morning, news of the incident had spread. Guests who had witnessed the event shared their stories online, sparking a wave of discussion about racial profiling in luxury spaces. The hotel released a public statement, not just apologizing to Elijah, but announcing mandatory racial sensitivity, training for all employees. As for Elijah, he made it clear that his goal wasn't just personal justice, it was systemic change. Because real power wasn't just proving he belonged, it was ensuring that no one else had to.